If you're building your brand, you probably have something to sell. And some people shy away from the word sales. But you also know sales is a necessity in doing business. So if you're someone who says, I'm not a salesperson, or I don't like to sell people on things, but you have a product or service to sell, then you're not going to want to miss this episode. I'm going to help change the way you think about the word sales. Welcome to the Build Your Brand Show. Quick actionable tips to help you build your brand, share your expertise to create income and impact. I'm Kathy, your host. In this episode, we're going to get rid of the fear of the word sales to give you more confidence and be more successful. Okay, so you have something to sell, your product, a service. So let's make the word sales a little less ominous so that you can embrace sales and share your product or service to help more people. Everybody likes to buy things. I mean, think of the last week. How many purchases did you make? And when you were ready to buy something, did you already know about the product or service you purchased? Or did you need to find out more information? Because you need information to make a good decision on what you need to purchase. So what it comes down to is information. So you become an information giver instead of trying to sell someone on something. It's literally problem solution. Help me solve my problem. Now, I know that sounds very simplistic. However, it's a change in mindset. You go from feeling like you have to convince someone and you become someone who's helping other people by providing information. I am going to give you an example of how it's helped me in my life, and then I'm going to give you a few steps to go through so that you can be more successful. So let me give you an example. In my 20s, I took a sales territory from $800,000 to $80 million in about an 8-year period. And of course, it begins with quotas and numbers that you need to sell. So each year I would get a quota and create a plan for the year. And this plan was very detailed for the entire year per month. And then as it came to each month, I would create a detailed plan for each week. And then each week, I made a daily plan to match the overall planning that I set forth at the beginning of the sales year. So the money and the quota was top of mind during my yearly strategic planning session. And after that, I flipped the switch. I became an information giver. And this is something you can do too. Instead of thinking of selling someone on something, just think about someone needs information in order to buy. And I know it's just semantics. However, it helps you change that perception in your mind that you're trying to sell people on something and trying to convince them to just helping them make a good decision. And I knew if I didn't show up to talk about my products, that people would not know the pros of purchasing from us, and they could buy something else that may not be as good of a fit. So that increases your passion to get out and talk to more people because you know they need you in order to make a good decision. And by not thinking of the numbers and thinking of the person, I was able to make a connection and enthusiastically share the products to more people. And then we had a lot of success. So if you don't want to sell someone on something and you're afraid of the word sales, here are the steps to help build your confidence and get more sales. So the first thing you do is make a plan. Plan for your numbers, plan for your sales, get it on paper, know what you're doing. And then when you get in front of the customer, ask questions first. Find out what your customer most wants and what their biggest pain point is that they need to solve as it relates to your product or service. And this informs you of what they need so you can help them better. Sometimes people can articulate that. Sometimes they might not know exactly what they need. But the most important thing that you're doing for that person is listening. Did you know that listen and silent have the same letters? I love that. So think about that. Everybody wants their problem solved. And if you can solve their problem, even better. So think of yourself in service. You're giving information. So you're empowering them to make a better decision rather than selling or convincing. And that really is the secret to sales. Third, be sure to find out who the ultimate decision maker is, because if it's more than one person, this can also be the key to your success, making sure the right people have the right information. And then 4, provide that information about your product that directly relates to their pain points first, and then go from there. So start with where they are, provide information around what they feel is most important, not what you feel is most important. It's a problem solution, but you get there by first asking a question and then simply listening. And then 5, ask for the sale. And this is tricky because with the decision maker, it could be that they have someone that they want to gather the information who is the influencer. So it's the influencer and the decision maker that make the final decision. And then 6, after you make the sale, provide the best service that you can, because word of mouth will help you to get more clients. So as you think about sales, think of what happens if your ideal client doesn't know about you or your product or your service. And then you can become the world's greatest information giver. You're not selling anyone on anything. You're providing information so they can make a good decision. So take action. If you have a product or service to sell, make a plan for your numbers. The next person you talk to that's a potential client, ask them, what are you struggling with? What do you need most right now? And then listen. And then ask a few follow-up questions. Tell me more. And then provide information about your product or service that may fit that specific need. Or send them somewhere else, or just listen and be a good friend. Visit brandmakermedia.com/roadmap to get your free 5-step brand roadmap, the roadmap to build a foundation for your brand. Thanks for listening. Now go out there and create impact.